Hey guys, welcome back. This is Little Fever here, and today we have got another piece of rolling stock to review. This one, as you can see here, is a Union Pacific log loading crane car. That's it. It says here. Try to get that shot for you. And there's all the packaging. It's fairly basic. There's the tag on it. They're pretty much just like the other log car. So open it up now. This side doesn't have the tape on it. So there. All right. Right here. Down there. Now here you can see our car. I believe this is the key to the crane. And now let's take a closer look at the details right about now. All right, we are now looking at the details section, and let's start out with the cab. Now you can see there are molded details around the windows. The doors are just simply molded on, they do not slide, and you can see the hole for the key to go into. There's a nicely printed Union Pacific shield. Smokestack with rivet details, and it is just the same on the other side. Now taking a closer look at the crane arm, there is some light rivet detailing. You can see that just barely in the light. This lever here does, if you push it, does open up the crane arm. You can potentially grab any logs that you want. There's a nice rope here that looks like it's emulating wire. Now, take a closer look at the key here. There we go. It is fairly basic, and it does have some flashing on it, so it doesn't feel the greatest in the hands. Now, if we're taking a closer look at the base of the wagon, you can see that if it'll focus. See the Union Pacific shield, crisp lettering and overing, the dashes, and these holes. Get that? Holes are fully in, so you can put any legs to support the crane when you're actually holding anything. Brake wheel only on this side. Steps. Let's take a look at the undercarriage detail here. Fairly basic. It does look just practically like a box car, but these are fairly prototypical, at least from what I can see. The air brakes, all molded detail, but it looks nice, and not most people are going to be looking under there. Now, there we go. Now, if you see over here, the crane, you see this nice wood detail and some lift lugs to potentially take the crane off of this flatbed. So I don't know if you actually can. I think it's screwed in, so I don't think you can. The ends are fairly basic, not much to them. They're Walthers standard coupler. The other end's just the same. The wheels don't have any indents on the back side of them, but for this price, that's a fairly good deal for the front detailing around the trucks and just the general shape of the wheels. And that, I suppose, is, if I can get on the track. There you go. That is what I suppose is the end of the detail section. Now time to check the performance of this crane car. All right, coming into the performance section now, we are going to do a coupler test with my Walthers track cleaning car, which I've used and found that it's at equal height with most of my rolling stock. Right, so again, this is Walthers to Bachmann. This crane car is also, it is, it's just a little bit higher, that's why. Yeah, you can see that's just a little bit higher. This crane car is incredibly wobbly though. Just putting, let me get my finger in chat just a little bit, and this entire thing is shaking. All right, now that that is done, what we are gonna do now is my last review from the other Walthers. It's the log dump car. here. So let's see how these two get together. Yep, and also the crane car still does seem to be a smidge higher, which is a little bit unfortunate, because I will check the other end. When you are running these two, or when you are running this crane in general, the crane arm does overhang a little bit. Do need to get the key to adjust the crane height. We'll get onto that later, but yeah, it's still just, look under the crane arm, you can see. Still just a little bit above. That's a little bit disappointing, but it's not too terribly bad. All right, moving on to where we are going to check the log's compatibility with the crane. All right, here with the crane car, another test I do want to run is going over my set of points here. This one, that one, and I believe with this metal wheels, it should not be that bad. It's rolling right over. No problems, except for the fact that it is less free rolling than the log car that I've reviewed. That is a lot more. Tends to glide a lot more. But not bad overall. All right, here to check the compatibility. I guess I also did forget to mention that this is my first review on dual tracks. Yeah, there. Now time to see if I can just use this to get the crane arm to go up. There you go. I know this is not going to be terribly realistic here, but it does feel, if your arm moving it, does feel fairly stiff. It also feels like plastic on plastic grinding, which does not feel great in the hands. I do have to say it is kind of funky, but you are just a couple log here, and just close, thread it on in. Ugh. Oh, okay. Oops. All right, crane. Yeah. Okay. Oh my. Yeah, it's not coming across on camera, but yeah. The thing is, the rope here is in the winding mechanism. It's not the strongest, so it really wants to. Yeah, light tap and this thing just falls, which is kind of crappy, but I don't know, I guess. I am used to working with the Bachmann maintenance of way crane here. I got that in the background, but I don't know. That is disappointing, but I will try to. I'm gonna try to drop a log here. Ooh. Okay, let's just keep it forward because this does not have a lot of weight low down, I guess. This thing really wants to tip either way the log's going. So let's just try again. Push forward. There we go. So that part of the mechanism works. It's just a little disappointing. See that the crane housing and everything is a little less quality. It does roll fairly well though. Well, as I said earlier, it does bob quite a bit on the tracks. And yeah, if I just give a light tap, I say it's not as free rolling as the log car, which is kind of interesting. All right, now let's get on to some actual running now. So I'll see you guys then. All right, now coming over to couple up, we do have the Bachmann Trainline car in the back to test the Walthers coupler with the Bachmann one, and then we are just gonna put our Bowser wood chip hopper in front of that. So this train is going to be mainly a consist with Union Pacific freight, but or just Union Pacific in general. But I could run my F unit since it does actually have a knuckle coupler in the front, as you can see, but it is very loud and inconsistent, and I feel like that would be an unfair representation if it's jolting around and not having a smooth ride. So I'm going to hook up the good old Bachmann GG1, and I am going to take into the crane here. I am going to set that onto the tracks. All right, so let's get this train moving. Lit. And we're just gonna do about 30 to 40% power. Okay, I left that guy on the line. There we go. All right. Should be coming around the bend just about now. Overall, it does seem to perform well, you know, being pulled by a consist. And one downside from that is, though, that its crane does overhang into the car next to it, so you do have to put it next to another flat car or gondola that it does not knock out and wipe out the car in front of it. There you go. All right, let's try some other shots so you can see it rolling on by. All right, we have a shot here of the newly painted bridge. And let's see how close it is clearance-wise. As you can see, the first crane is just fine because you can adjust that one a lot more. And our dump crane, it is quite a bit shorter at the setting I have it now, which is good. So its clearance is good and it will not foul up my bridge. And we'll just let it run by again. Yep, okay, no trouble. All right, let's get this train coming to a stop here now. So if I can do this and get it actually a shot. Get it out of it. And stop. There we go. Okay, got on the shot now. All right, now on to the ratings of this product. And I don't believe I've actually said it in the video. I did pick this up for $17. Okay. On to the rating section now. All right, now we're on to and time for the overall ratings. In performance, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 for its very wobbly movement, and the crane arm's not exactly the most fluent thing compared to the Bachmann one. And also the key had a tendency to get stuck in the side. And I guess I'm just gonna keep doing a run-on sentence here, but you can only use the key from this side, not the other side, which is the feature that was on the Bachmann crane. So that was a little bit disappointing. For detail, I gave it a 9 out of 10 for some of the flashing detail down here, and the crane's interior detail being somewhat bland. But overall, it was very good with the shields and markers. Now on to quality. I give it an 8 out of 10 for, again, the crane not even being able to fully lift a log until you're high up. And this release lever sticks out quite a bit and it's fairly flimsy. As well as when you turn the crane, something you guys can't really experience, but it does feel very much like plastic is grinding on plastic there. And then for value, I also gave it an 8 out of 10. For $17, it's not bad, but it's also not as good as you'll see later that the log car is. It's just a shot here. For, yeah, the details and other things that I noted earlier. Also with the lift lugs down here, they are fairly just Like there's no under detailing tried to put in them, they're just flat after you get to a certain point, if you can see that on camera. So overall, that leads us to a score of 8.375 out of 10. And that's a fairly good score. This is the first review where I've actually added up the numbers to get this. But meanwhile, the log car here actually did get 9.125 out of 10, which is, it actually got a slightly better score, which is kind of funny to me. But yeah, it does make sense in my mind. And I think that's just about it for this review. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. You can subscribe if you want to, you don't have to. Like the video, add a comment, share your own thoughts. I'm hoping that I can get enough subscribers to get a community page up so I can ask you guys questions and polls. So, thank you guys for watching again, but see you guys next time. There will be some more reviews coming out after this one, so stay tuned. All right, see you guys. Bye-bye.